Welcome back, everybody, to the Northeast Corridor. It has been a long 2 weeks, but we are back and better than ever. We got halfway through the first season of the Northeast Corridor. We are on episode, I don't even know what number it is anymore, but we are dialed in. We have a lot to uncover, a lot of stuff happening now, and a lot of stuff that happened over the spring break. AJ, let's get started.
Preston, how are you?
I'm doing well. I had a great spring break. You know, I drove over 2,500 miles around the West Coast, spent over $400 on gas, but I had a great time, and I've never been better.
Flew back to Western Mass myself. Good spring break. Glad to be back. A lot to talk about related to the Northeast. I know we want to touch in a little baseball stuff. I want to definitely touch it on the Bruins tonight. I haven't really had the chance to address the sell-off. That was the great Boston sell-off at the trade deadline in the NHL. We can do a little March Madness if you want to. I think that's a fair plan for the
Sounds great. You get started with Boston's sell-off. I saw that. Get it started for you. I saw that Marchand, the hometown hero, is finally out of there and went to Florida.
Yeah, so why don't I break down like the major moves that happened, because they didn't just deal Marchand.
No, I know, but Marchand was a big name to begin.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. I'll save him for last. They trade Trent Frederick, a middling player, for a second-round pick. I thought they did great on that return. They trade Charlie Coyle, who the Colorado Avalanche consider to be like a top 9-ish player right around there. They get a second-round pick for him, too. They trade Justin Brazeau. They trade Brandon Carlo to the Maple Leafs. That was an interesting trade to get a first-round pick in return, and along with some other additional compensation. I don't know why my voice sounds like that right now, but Brad Marchand. Okay, Brad Marchand, the big one to go. Listen, they traded him for a conditional second-round pick, which can become a first. See that? Like I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. It's surprising.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Brad Marchand goes for a conditional second, which can become a first if he plays. I think they make it through 2 rounds of the playoffs. Someone may want to look that one up. But nonetheless, I like the deal for the Bruins. Here's why. You get rid of a player that is on an expiring deal. I like the factor of that, okay? Listen, the Bruins fans are being so sentimental about this guy. It drives me bananas. Why are we being so sentimental about this guy? I don't get it. He's a great player, don't get me wrong. Will he have his number retired one day at the Garden? 100% for sure. He's a great player. Maybe he even goes to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. That's how good this guy is. But listen, everything comes to an end. They got a good return for Brad Marchand. Yes, you get rid of the player, absolutely. But this team was going nowhere. They still are going nowhere. They got a good return. The Bruin Bobos, the Boo-Hoo Bruin crew, you guys are some of the biggest babies in the United States of America, straight up. I'm just going to call it for what it is. They got a good return for Brad Marchand. They lose the player, yes, but they get a good return. If you want to fire Don Sweeney, you're not firing him for this trade deadline. You're firing him for the past mistakes. You're firing him for the missed draft picks in 2015. You're firing him for the missed trades from that 2018-ish era, 2017-ish there, all the way to 2023. He missed on a lot of those deals. He did 100%. He couldn't draft. He missed on deals. And the worst part about it is he locked in all these guys who were, really B-, B-plus players to A-plus money long-term deals. That's going to kill him in the long run. I think he does end up getting fired. I think the Bruin fans are going to want it to happen, Preston. But overall, this trade deadline, I thought he nailed out of the park. I give it an A. He did a great job with it. I love Brad Marchand, but it was time. Clearly, this team was going absolutely 100% nowhere. They did the right thing on the board. The right thing was to trade Brad Marchand. I stand by that.
Yeah, now the Boston Bruins, they did trade Marchand for a conditional second-round pick, which can turn into a first-round pick if the Panthers go 2 rounds into the playoffs and Marchand plays at least 50% of those playoff games.
That's the other condition.
Which gives, the Boston Bruins the first round. But Boston right now sits at 69 points, 7th in the Atlantic Division, way out of the wild card race right now. Actually, not really even out of the wild card race. They're at 69 points. They're only 4 points out of it, just behind Montreal. So they're trying to maybe trade something, get something working, maybe to make a playoff push. But I'm seeing they're probably gonna maybe back on it a bit. But the Islanders, they've had a decent trade line. You got Richie off the Avalanche, who's been playing really well. He's one of the better prospects on the Avalanche. Trading Brock Nelson, which was the guy who was been drafted by the Islanders, was on the Islanders for 12 years. Basically, kind of what Marchand was to the Bruins. Didn't win a cup, but he was a reasons why we really went far in the playoffs. And to him, Nelson, I love you, and you will always come back as an Islander. One day I know you will, because you'll be a free agent next year, and we'll sign you. And getting Colorado's best prospect out of that trade is amazing for the Islanders. And the Islanders are right now in the playoff hunt, 2 points out of a wild card spot. looking great, coming back off 2-0 deficits in third periods, dropping 4 goals in third periods, back-to-back games against the Panthers, who have now Marchand, and were one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And even though this second game wasn't that great, it was against the Penguins, but still coming back and winning it. 2 great games for the Islanders, and seeing them right now, I mean, they could push for the wild card spot. And when the Islanders are in the playoffs, folks, the New York Islanders are a dark horse team when it comes to playoffs. Unless they play the Carolina Hurricanes, they are a dark horse team, and you've seen it in 2021, in 2020, 2019. They were dark horse playoff teams, and I will stick by that. But if they play the Hurricanes, different story. But I don't think the Hurricanes are like how they usually are, and I definitely think the Islanders could do something.
I think the Islanders aren't going to make the playoffs, and I don't think we're going to have to even worry about it. I think both of our teams are done and dead in the water. Forget the conversation.
Islanders right now are 3 points behind Montreal in the playoffs.
And where are the Bruins in those playoff standings?
They are 4 standings behind the Islanders.
Okay, both teams are dead in the water.
It's Montreal
at the playoffs.
At 73, New York Rangers at 72, Islanders at 70. Islanders now upcoming games are against the Canadiens, which that'll be a very good game to play, and the Islanders do play very well against the Canadiens at home. Then they play the Flames,
loss.
Calgary's just in the playoff hunt. Another game against the Blue Jackets,
loss.
So you're seeing the Blue Jackets and Islanders right now have the exact same record, 31, 21, and 8.
So who's better, the Blue Jackets or the Islanders? The
Islanders.
Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets are the better team this year, 100%. Who's the better team this year, the Flames or the Islanders? The Flames are the better team this
Islanders.
year. Who's the better team this year, the Islanders or who was the first team you mentioned? I'm forgetting now, blanking. On the top of my
Canadiens.
Head. Canadiens. Who's the better team there? The Canadiens are the better team this year. So out of those 3 to make the playoffs, they're the 4th.
I don't see the Islanders are 1-1 against Canadiens this year, and they have 2 home games against Canadiens. They won their home game against Canadiens earlier in October, and now they're playing another home game against them. So
that's terrific and all. They're not going to make the playoffs. But even if they did, listen,
they would lose first round. But
they wouldn't just lose in the first round. They would get swept in the first round.
Because they'd play who's the number 1 in the Capitals.
I live in a realistic world. I am a big proponent of reality. The reality of the situation is you're not going to be making the playoffs this year, just like the Bruins. Let's pack it up. Let's forget it. Let's get into a sport where both of us actually matter. That's baseball, okay? Red Sox, Yankees, lots of good storylines. You need to go first, man. Tell me. I was telling you about Garrett Cole. I knew something was off. Something was indeed off. And Giancarlo Stanton as well. 2 big injuries for you.
So Stanton's out, folks, till probably May, I would say, because that's how Stanton injuries usually are. They come back in June. So that loses the Giants. I keep saying the Giants for some reason. I was in San Francisco last week. I was at the Giants Park. I'm thinking the New York Giants because we don't have a quarterback right now, but I don't want to talk about that team. That team's a disaster. Anyways, back to the Yankees. We lost Garrett Cole, Tommy John surgery, and it sucks because pitchers coming off Tommy John's never pitched the same they usually were before. And Cole was a very elite pitcher. When it came to the Yankees, he kind of died down from how he was on the Astros and the Pirates. I do think he was going to pick it up this year, which he will not see until 2026 now. So now we have 365 days of non-Garrett Cole baseball, which is going to suck as a Yankee fan. But Max Fried is pitching phenomenally right now in spring training. Just had a good start against the Red Sox today. Unfortunately, the Red Sox tied 4 apiece. But it was a great game. Volpe looked hot. Volpe is only batting 190 right now, which is depressing to see. But it's spring training. Spring training sometimes doesn't matter when you want to be biased. So, in occasions of the players doing good, spring training does matter. When the players aren't doing good, spring training doesn't matter. But Max Fried is playing great. Carlos Rodon named our starting pitcher. Stanton's out till about June, so that's not surprising. But I'm seeing a lot of development with these young guys. I'm seeing maybe Spencer Jones, Dom Smith. They're playing pretty well right now in spring training. And that Dom Smith, that veteran, I could see him taking Stanton's spot, especially maybe develop Jones a little bit longer in the, I would say called AAA. Put him up at AAA. Just keep him there for maybe another year and see how he does, or half a year, and put him up there maybe later by the trade deadline. But the Yankees need to go out and trade deadline and get pitching. I think that's what they need to get. The starting pitching is rough, and having basically your bullpen looking meh, I would say get somebody out there that can put in solid 5 innings and maybe get someone else out there as a reliever. But I know the Red Sox, though, they're looking good.
Yeah, I want to touch it on Cole, though, first.
I touched in on it. He's out. He's out for the season.
His career.
His career is basically over. I think it's over. You don't, especially how old, what is he, 34?
34?
Yeah, when your career is like that, at that age, like, one thing for Ohtani to come back for Tommy John surgery, he's only 28, but that's 6 years of difference. So if
Ohtani's 31.
He's 31? Ooh, that's going to be rough on Ohtani, too. He's going to be a little bit struggled. I
don't think so. He went 50-50 with it. I mean, last year.
Yeah, but you're not. He's pitching now. I'm talking about pitching standpoint from Otani.
Oh, pitching, yeah, it probably won't be the same.
Yeah, he won't be the same, and I think that's what's going to screw him over. Because I think he's more. But we'll get to Otani in another episode. This is not for Otani.
Look.
But I think Cole's career's over.
Yeah,
I think he doesn't think it's over. I think he'll come back, but I don't think he'll pitch the same.
No,
I think
he won't be the same.
I think he'll probably be a 500 win pitcher,
just like he was last year.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be worse than he was last year.
Well, I mean, 8-5 with a 3.5 ERA, so maybe it goes to like 7-6. Or
I'm
like
gonna say 6.
4.2. Like it's not gonna be the same guy.
I'm gonna say like 8. I'm gonna say like 8-7 with like a 3.8.
All right, that's cool and all. All I'm saying is you shouldn't have given him that extension.
We should not have, because
that was a horrible extension. That was that Cy Young season he had there. That was a clear light in like a dark time there for New York. They needed something. Garrett Cole at that point was there something. It would have been a terrible look for them to let him go after that. But that contract extension is now biting him in the rear because he is not going to be the same guy. He's out till at least the summer of 26. You'd have to think. Garrett Cole at this point, I'm not factoring him into my Yankee plans at all, and neither really am I factoring in Giancarlo Stanton. If they get anything out of him, it's bonus. I wouldn't factor him in at all. If I had to redo my AL East predictions, the Yankees take a big tumble. Big tumble. Yep, they do. Even with the Luis Gil injury, which I actually think hurts them more than Stanton. It does.
Gil's out till, I think, mid-May with that elbow injury. So
right. I think that kid has great stuff. He just has to stay healthy, and he hasn't been healthy. So the Yankees are in a rough predicament. But going from rough to beautiful, the Boston Red Sox.
How's Tristan
Casas?
Casas, how's he doing?
He's fine.
Clubhouse cancer still, or is he doing well?
No, he just thinks he's a man of many roles. He thinks he's like the team operations manager, the budget manager, the general manager.
He's the Don of the Red Sox?
The owner, the team manager, and he thinks he plays every position in the field. That's my real problem with Tristan Casas. But the Red Sox overall, the team outlook's pretty strong. My only concern is Rafael Devers. Honestly, that's it. They named Aroldis Chapman the closer today. That's another thing I'm a little concerned about, but not really. Devers is going to be their third baseman to start the year, I would think. Maybe they move him to DH, but Bregman, Story, Christian Campbell, maybe if he continues to have a good spring, he might get opening day looks. Tristan Casas is going to be at first. I'm feeling really good about this Red Sox team, and the pitching is why I'm feeling so good. Garrett Crochet looks like an absolute unit out there on the mound. Walker Buehler looks very good as well. This Red Sox team, they got first place potential. Absolutely. This team has first place potential 150%. They got it. A stacked lineup, 1 through 9. I really like the way it's looking out. The Bregman signing turned me over the top. I was kind of middling on this team, but they got Bregman, and it looks a lot better. You have Duran. You have Bregman.
Buehler's pitching well for you.
Buehler's going to pitch well. You have Garrett Crochet. He's going to pitch well. Some of those younger pitchers that they've had for years now, Tanner Houck, Brian Bello, you'd expect them to take the next step up. This team should finish in the first in the American League East now. I'm really convinced of that. It's going to be a fun summer, fun fall, fun summer for the Boston Red Sox. Finally, I have myself a baseball season, and I am here for it.
Yeah, I'm going to finish up here with the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees I still have them as my number one in the AL East. I'm going to be biased because I'm just a Yankee fan. I'm not going to put the Red Sox above us anytime soon unless I actually can see it. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I don't think the Yankees will win plus 95 games now. I think they'll win maybe like 91 and win or like 93. Losing Cole's a big blow. Losing Gil especially. I don't think Stan's big of a problem because he's either a home run or a strikeout, so it's not like I'm losing much. I think Dom Smith will be as of right now, a better DH player to have. It sucks to say that because there's so many options during free agency, and the Yankees just decided to sit back and twiddle their thumbs, which I'm really kind of angered about. I mean, we did pick up Fried, we did pick up Williams, but I mean, we picked up a closer and a starter. There's still a bullpen we need to work on. I mean, I think the team looks on paper like a B team, B average. And they're probably going to play like a B minus because that's how the Yankees do it all the time. We got the young guys need to hit and the ball and need to field better, and the pitchers just need to not blow the game. That's all the Yankees need to worry about. You don't need to worry about Judge. Judge is going to play how he always plays. It doesn't even have to matter about spring training. It's just that's the thing with the Yankees. We just got to see how they are. If they're doing 500 ball by the trade deadline, that's when you kind of have to start panicking. But yeah, that's kind of all my take on the Yankees right now. It's just
cool.
It's sad because we have so much money and we don't put it to spending, and losing Soto was a huge blow.
Oh, not now. The Yankee fans go back to Soto
Well,
and realize
I mean,
how important
okay.
he was. Okay,
No,
I love the agenda.
We lose because the problem with losing Soto is now we don't have Stanton. So if you had Soto in that situation, I wouldn't be so like bummed out. But I mean, I really like Paul Goldschmidt and Cody Bellinger right now. They're both playing really well, and I mean, yes, I would love to have Soto back on the team. Don't get me wrong.
Would you trade everybody you signed this offseason for Soto? If the answer is not yes,
yes, I would. I
Okay,
think,
go
but
ahead.
I do think that I would rather. I don't think Soto could field the ball that well. I think there was a lot of mistakes he had on the.
But his bat made up
The
for
bat
it. It
made
did
up
double
for it.
for that. That's my thing with you Yankee fans. It's like, guys, get over the fielding. Like, where was this concern a year ago? It wasn't there. You guys were so focused and fixated on his hitting and his fielding. Yes, it really isn't that great. But you weren't saying this a year ago. You were saying how you were telling me.
No, I didn't know you a year ago, and I did say that.
Okay, I am speaking as a generalization of
As a
the Yankee
generalization.
fans. And now they're trying to tell me about the defense when really a year ago you guys were fixated on the hitting and his clutch play. So okay, fine.
No, he was
All
a
good.
great. I honestly think Grotto was probably one of the best hitters on the Yankees team.
Of course.
In the last,
Of course.
probably one of the best in probably the last
Of
20
the last
years.
15 years.
20,
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah, 20. I
Power
think
hitter, I
they're
would
pushing
say,
it
yeah,
now.
yeah.
15, yeah. A-Rod's a better player. We're not going to do
I
that.
said one of the best, not like the best.
Yeah, one of. Yeah, for sure.
Right now, I think Judge is the
He's
best.
a top 5
I think
hitter in
Judge-
baseball right now, and he's probably number 4. Am I right?
Yeah.
3.
I'd say what? Otani, Judge,
Otani. We'll go Judge.
and then probably Bobby Witt. I would say maybe.
Well, like hitter or all around package. Then the question.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go hitter, you can put Bobby Witt up there. He's a good hitter. You don't have to go power.
I
You
mean,
don't
he's
have
not Soto hitting.
Well, you don't have to go power. You can go contact.
Yeah, if you want to do that.
If you want to
fine.
do overall contact and power, you put in Bobby Witt 4 or
Yeah,
3.
fair. That's
So you
a
would
good
do
comp.
Otani, Judge, Witt. Then you would do 4 would be Soto, and then who would be your 5? Probably
Hitting wise.
I could put Betts up there maybe.
Yeah, Mookie. Yeah, that's a good one.
Lindor
Mookie's a good
can be up
pull.
there.
Lindor's a good pull.
Henderson if he plays.
No, you can't put Henderson there. I think an underrated guy there is Seager, but he's
Oh,
probably
of course,
lower
Seager. Forgot
tier.
about him.
Lower tier. He's a
Forgot he was-
lower tier, but yeah, he's up there for sure. That's all I got for baseball.
Yeah.
Let's go March Madness, man. That's
we got
where
the next 13 minutes or 10 minutes. We got it from March. Madness. The best time of the year. Christmas, it came early of March. The Christmas of March. Probably the most enjoyable thing about this month because this month is very boring. Yeah, so I think we can kind of just run through some games that are people talk about.
Yeah, I had a take on March Madness. if
What's
you
your
want
take?
that.
Did you take that, the... Sorry, I'm laughing because is it the Kentucky Derby better than March Madness? Is that your take? Because you said that earlier.
What?
The Kentucky Derby is more enjoyable.
Oh no! I was just
Yeah,
just
you were
joking.
just-
You
I
knew
knew
I
you-
was. I wanted to talk about March Madness overall.
What do you think? What's your take?
Okay, Duke, Cooper Flag. If they win the national title and Cooper Flag is like the main part and the catalyst for it, Cooper Flag enters a unique draft tier. He enters the number 1 surefire, slam dunk, generational type player draft page. I'm talking LeBron James. I'm talking Victor Wembanyama. I'm talking that type of status. If Cooper Flag wins a national title with his injury and plays well, whew. This lottery, the lottery coming up this year, it's going to mean a lot more. And that's why I'm interested in this. There is great competition. Yes, Cooper Flag is going to have a lot in his way. Go look at the SEC alone. I can name you Auburn. I can give you Florida. I can give you, I'm forgetting Houston. I'm just going to leave them out. They're not even in the SEC. Alabama's in the SEC. They're nasty again. Listen, if Cooper Flag wins a national title, he enters rarefied air for his NBA status. I think that's a fact. I really do. And I think they are considered to be the favorites. It's them and Florida at this point. And I really think that if Flag's healthy and he's 100%, they have a real fighter's chance to win the national title. I think they're going to have some trouble. Yeah, they will, 100%. No Coach K there. If Coach K were there, I'd feel a lot better. But they're going to run into some trouble. But I still feel really confident in Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Capture the flag, more like capture the national title. If he does, it's rarefied air.
Yeah, I just think Cooper Flag's it's gonna suck for him when he gets drafted. If he does go to the Wizards, I think the Wizards do have a good amount of draft picks in the future, and they can definitely they can build it up. I don't think them being a playing team anytime in the next 2 years, but definitely in the next 3 or 4 years, the Wizards will be something special. But going off on March Madness again, getting back on track. I have Florida winning it. I think the Gators are look good. Walter Clayton Jr. I think is amazing for the Gators. Probably one of the reasons why they are probably the best team in the country. Oliver Rue, their guard, the 7'9" center. That team is just incredibly built. I mean, they had some games they lost that were fluky, but the team looks good, and my bracket looks a little weird. So I'll read off my little Elite Eight. So I have Auburn, Michigan State, Florida, St. John's, Duke, and here's a team that I think is gonna be a Cinderella this year. VCU. I think the Rams are going to be that Cinderella team. I think they'll go back to their 2011 roots. I think they'll come back and become a Cinderella again. And then I have Gonzaga against Tennessee in my Elite Eight. So, I think Florida wins. I just think Florida would win it all. I think it'll be Florida, Tennessee in the final. I think Tennessee's a great team. I think they are going to be. I think they'll go against Duke in the Final Four. I think Tennessee is just going to play better. I think it's going to come down to the line. I think Tennessee's just going to win it. And I have Florida playing Michigan State. And I think Florida's going to take that Michigan State with no problem. I think Florida's just going to ease their way to the championship. I think Florida has a tough bracket to play in. I mean, they're playing in a very tough region. You know, your second game possibly could play against either UConn or Oklahoma, and those two teams are pretty sneaky. UConn looking like more the tough team to play that you don't want to play. But then you have other teams like Missouri, Texas Tech, St. John's. You can throw Maryland maybe in there. So it's a tough little thing, and then you keep moving on. They got it in their area. Florida's got a tough little teams to play, but I think they can do it. What's your take on this?
Well, on March Madness overall or your bracket?
Oh, I have Maryland March Madness overall.
So you have Maryland winning the whole thing?
No, Florida.
Oh, you have Florida. Okay, I'm sorry.
I said Maryland maybe could be a little bit of a challenge in their region, but I say that I think it's going to be the tough teams that Florida's going to play in their region. It's going to be UConn, Texas Tech, Missouri, and St. John's.
I have a beef with March Madness overall. I want to get to that at the end of the show. But for now, I would say it's definitely Florida. I think the SEC is going to run wild in this tournament.
You have 14 teams, two teams that weren't in,
100%.
LSU and South Carolina.
I think the SEC is just going to run through this tournament. I think there's too much talent. Go look at that Auburn roster. There's just so much talent there that a lot of these other schools just can't compete with. The reason why I say it would be so impressive for Cooper Flagg to do this is because how stacked the SEC is this year. I mean, go look at a conference play. Go look at SEC. They dominate. They just do. They win.
I mean, even the SEC's 11 seed Texas. I mean, that's a good team. That's a team. Like even Arkansas, you can put up there. Those are good teams. Like those are teams that would probably finish top in this year.
Right.
Those Texas and Arkansas team, they would finish top 2 or 3 in the ACC. I think those teams are better than Louisville. Yes, Louisville's an 8 seed, but I think they're better. I think in the Big 12, you put those SEC schools that are probably the 7 or 8 seeds. I think they'll probably finish top. SEC is such a dominant conference this year, which is insane to see. You don't see this much often with almost the entire conference making the tournament. So seeing this happen in person now and realistically happening, it's incredible.
Yeah. Look, if Cooper Flagg runs through the SEC, like that would be unbelievable. If he wins this national title with his injury and how good the competition is, that would be insane. That would be absolutely nuts for me to just see that. That would just cement him as the chosen one, the next big thing. But can I get to my beef with March Madness?
Yeah, what's your beef with March Madness?
Okay.
Place off.
I love March Madness. I love the competition. It's March Madness for a reason. I'm not here to downgrade it. If you think it's the best tournament out there, your opinion. So be it. Here's why part of it bothers me, okay? People out there who, you maybe you, the listener, you get so caught up in it that when someone like me who really, my strength isn't college basketball, you try to tell me that you know everything about college basketball, but you really don't. You really don't. You don't know anything about college basketball. Some people. There's some people out there who study this stuff, work in it, 100%. You guys do what you want. I'm talking about the casuals who try to act like that 1% of college basketball fan who knows every player on every team.
I can name somebody right now.
Who knows backups on every team. Like, you people are very insufferable. I'm sorry. nice guys, but very insufferable sometimes. And it's nothing personal. It's a fact. I can't take people who don't really know what they're talking about with college basketball trying to give me the backup point guard for the Liberty Flames, who they think is, because he had a great March Madness, is going to be in the NBA draft, when really he's going to go undrafted and really he will never play in the NBA. That's what I'm talking about. I love the competition. I'll be watching it. I think it's good sports. Any sport's a good sport. It is Christmas, like Preston mentioned. But calm down, relax. College basketball is a great sport. Don't blow it. Don't blow it. That's all I'm saying. Just, let's just be honest, please. Honesty is very important in this world. I believe it. I think it's a core principle for anything and anyone in the sports industry. You're not being very honest with yourself if you're just sitting there as a casual and you're trying to tell me about a guy whose name just popped up on the screen, and you're trying to tell me that you know the person inside and out when you really don't. That's all I'm saying. Great sport. I'm going to enjoy it. But casuals, just be casual. I'm a casual. I'm willing to admit it. I'm just a casual. That's all it is. I am not living and dying with it like I am with the NFL, NHL, MLB. No. I live and die with those things. I don't live and die with college basketball. So I'm just asking for fairness, transparency, and honesty when it comes to March Madness overall.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm, how do I put this? The savior of college basketball. I'm not the one that, knows everything about it. Give like every single team, every single player, yada yada, backups. I watch it most of the year. If it's on, I'll watch it. If it's my team, my two teams, Arkansas and Arizona State, I'll watch. But I'm not going to sit there and know every single point guard. And I look into it. I mean, I have a very controversial pick right here, and everyone's going to think I'm stupid. I have Creighton going. I had them beating Auburn, but I actually really looked into it. I don't think they're going to beat Auburn. I have Creighton beating Louisville. If people think Louisville's going to win that game, and they think Peace is weak, blah, blah, blah. But I think Creighton's going to win that game. And we'll find out on Thursday when that's the first game of the week. The March Madness season begins. But I will be presenting a project in my English class, which I've never done all year. And, of course, it lands the day of March Madness, so I'm really furious. But that is all for this week, folks. We will be back next week for more probably March Madness takes and other stuff going on with baseball. We will see you guys all next week here on the Northeast Corridor. Good night.